Hello, Year 2, and welcome to Week 2 of this term's Science Learning. And today the question we are going to be answering is, what can plants be grown from? But before we go any further, let's have a look at our knowing more, remembering more. So I've got 4 questions here, and I will pause this slide after I've read you the questions, and so then you can answer them. So, question 1. True or false? The stem supports the plant and transports water and nutrients. Is that true or false? Question 2. What is inside seeds and bulbs? Is there a water source inside them? Is there a stem inside them? Is there a food source inside them? Or is it a root inside them? And a recall question from our previous learning. What is the acronym that can help us remember the 7 life processes? And we looked at this in last week's lesson, so you should remember that. And finally, there's a picture there. What material is that made from? Okay, pause this video now. Have a go at answering those questions. Okay, so hopefully you said true for the first one, that the stem supports the plant and transports water and nutrients. Hopefully you said there is a food source that is inside seeds and bulbs. You covered that last year in Year 1. What is the acronym that can help us remember the 7 life processes? That is, of course, Mrs. NERG, and that stands for movement, respiration, sensitivity, nutrition, reproduction, excretion and growth. And what is the name of this material? It is, of course, a rock. Okay. So this is what we're going to be covering today. We're going to be looking at what can plants be grown from. Let's have a look at this first bit here. I can name a variety of common seeds and bulbs. Now, if you're looking at seeds and bulbs at home, please wear gloves when handling bulbs and wash hands after handling plants. Some plants, seeds and fruits are poisonous. So check as well with your adult at home if you have an allergy to seeds or bulbs. So in a second, I'm going to show you a video, and it is Miss Bryant is going to be taking us through some different seeds and bulbs. And I want you to think about these questions here. Can you identify if each is a seed or a bulb? What do you notice about their size and shape? What do you notice about their outside coating? And can you name any of the seeds and bulbs? So let's have a look at this video now. It's just going to load. Just bear with me. So here, Miss Bryant is going to be taking us through some different seeds and bulbs.
Today we're going to be looking at what can plants be grown from. So I have a variety of seeds and bulbs for us to look at today. Here we go. Can you tell which are seeds and which are bulbs? Let's have a look. This one here is a bulb, this is a bulb, and this one is a bulb. The rest are all seeds. What can you notice about the size of the seeds compared to the size of the bulbs? What do you notice about the outside of the bulbs? These ones are quite papery compared to the outside of the seeds. This one's got a hard shell, so has this one. These ones are encased in fruits. Now then, let's have a look. Can you name the seeds? This one here, tiny little one, is an apple seed. These are pepper seeds. This is a butter bean seed. This is a broad bean seed. This one here is the inside of a sunflower seed, and often you'll see them in the shell, which is black and white striped almost. This tiny one here is a cress seed. Over here we have an onion bulb, you might recognise that one, and a garlic bulb, and this is the bulb of a flower. Now we're going to have a closer look at the inside of a seed and a bulb. Now I've chosen the butter bean because it is soft, and the onion. If you're going to have a look at home, please make sure you get an adult to cut the seeds and the onion for you. If not, there are close images on the PowerPoint, so you can use those instead. If we look at the butter bean here, you can see it's one large mass, and that is actually a food store that helps the seed to grow before it has its into a plant, before it has its own leaves and roots. And there's a tiny little orange bit here at the edge that it will be turn into the first part of growth. It looks very different to the onion, which you can see there are layers of, and actually coming up the middle here you can start to see what will turn into the shoot, and at the bottom into the roots. As I said, if you want to have a go at drawing those in detail and labelling the different parts. Now while you're at home, if you happen to have a pepper or an apple, you could have a go at planting these seeds yourself. Just a container with maybe some cotton wool, damp cotton wool, so add some water to the cotton wool and put the seed onto it, or if you have some soil you could plant it in a pot of soil. And remember to look after it, put it somewhere warm and water it regularly, but do not put too much water in, and see what happens.
Cool, thank you Miss Bryant. So there, Miss Bryant took us through
today we're going to
took us through some different seeds and bulbs there. So feel free to go back and rewatch that. It's also on our YouTube channel, on the Harris Garage YouTube channel. So check that out if you need to go and rewatch that. Yeah, and if you've got any seeds or bulbs at home, have a look. Ask an adult to help you having a look at those. So where do new plants come from? In the springtime, we see new plants starting to grow. But where do these plants come from? They come from seeds, don't they? Or they come from bulbs. And you'll notice we looked at some of the differences there. Seeds are often a lot smaller. Sometimes they're encased inside a fruit, whereas bulbs are a lot bigger. They're a lot larger. And sometimes they have a kind of, it almost feels papery, a papery kind of coating around the outside of them. Can you name any of the plants these bulbs or seeds grow into? Just pause this video here, have a little look. These were all on, I believe most of these were on the video we just watched. So pause this video, have a little look. Can you name them? Okay, well done. You might even have some of these in your homes already. You might have some cress seeds. You may have an onion. I've got a couple of onions in my cupboard over there. And the onion is obviously a bulb, isn't it? You can even see on this picture here, if you look at the bottom, there's the roots of the onion. If it was planted, that would start to grow. We got bell pepper seeds inside your pepper. If you chop your pepper in half, you'll see that a pepper has hundreds of these little seeds inside. Sunflower seed, there's the outside coating, the black and white coating. There's the inside of the seed there. Garlic is a bulb as well. When you buy garlic in the shop, quite often it comes in a bulb. We've got a daffodil bulb there. And apple seeds there. So if you cut your apple in half, you'll see there are seeds inside. So hopefully, guys, you're starting to understand the difference between a bulb and a seed. Are these seeds or bulbs? Pause this video, go through each picture here and have a little think. Okay, well done for having a go. Let's have a look. So what do these match up to here? Have a go at this, guys. What do these match up? We've got a conker there. Where's the conker tree? That, of course, here are the answers here, in fact. There's your daffodil bulb there. Your sycamore tree grows from these seeds here, which fall off. You've got your oak tree. We've got our horse chestnut, and we've got our onion bulbs there. Okay, so we just named a variety of common seeds and bulbs. Let's go on to the next bit. We're going to explain the purpose of a bulb or seed. So let's have a look at this. Plants can be grown from bulbs, and bulbs are usually quite big. An onion is an example of a bulb. Now, if you leave your onion for too long in the cupboard, it does start to sprout these well, I suppose they are leaves and stems out the top of it there. Bulbs store the food needed for a new plant to grow. We plant them in the soil and they grow into new plants. So if you were to take an onion bulb outside and plant it, it would grow into a new onion plant. The bulb is planted in the ground, and the bulb has everything the plant needs to start growing. But it's just currently sleeping. So when you get a bulb, it's just currently asleep. And if you plant it in the ground, then it will start to grow. And it will start going through this phase here. In phase 2, you can see here, the green shoot comes out and the roots bury down. When the time is right, it will start to grow roots and shoots. When the sun starts to warm the ground, the bud will begin to flower. When the plant has finished flowering, the leaves dry out The dying leaves send their nutrients back down to the bulb, and the old bulb produces new bulbs that will be ready for flower again next spring. So it kind of recycles itself. It flowers up, and then when it's finished flowering, the leaves dry out and the nutrients are sent back down to the bulb again. What is happening in each of these pictures? This is the life cycle of a tulip bulb. So pause this video and try and explain to you, try and say some sentences about what's going on in each of these stages here. Okay, what else can plants be grown from? We just explained bulbs, but we know they can also be grown from seeds. And seeds are usually a lot smaller than bulbs. A sesame seed on top of a burger bun is an example of a seed. It's very, very small. And we plant seeds in the soil, and they remain dormant until they're given water. That's the main difference. That a bulb has everything it needs to start growing, but seeds stay asleep until we give them water. And the seed food is used to start up germination. Got a little short video here, which we're just going to watch about how seeds become a plant.
Oh, hey guys, Squeaks and I are checking out our plants and they look great. It's almost hard to believe that these beautiful flowers and plants came from the teeny tiny seeds we put in the pots just a few weeks ago. You might be familiar with the little packets of seeds that you use to grow flowers or vegetables in your garden, or maybe the sunflower seeds that you find in your snack mix. But did you know that popcorn kernels, beans, peas, acorns, and rice are also seeds? Well, one of our friends, 5-year-old Dimitri, wrote in to ask us, how does a seed grow into a plant? Thanks for asking, Dimitri. First of all, seeds come in lots of different shapes and sizes, but they're all made of 3 parts. An outer shell called the seed coat, a tiny baby plant that's inside the seed called the embryo, and some plant food for the embryo called endosperm. The seed coat has an important job. It covers the entire seed, protecting the little baby plant inside and keeping it from drying out. The seed coat also has super sensing powers. It has special chemicals in it that can tell when the seed is in the right place to start growing. For example, the sunflower seeds and the pumpkin seeds in your trail mix sense that it's not safe to grow. After all, seeds can't grow when they're surrounded by raisins and chocolate chips. So while the seeds are in a bag or in your hands, it's like they're asleep. The seeds are still alive, but they're dormant or inactive. Some seeds can stay like this for hundreds or even thousands of years. Great question, Squeaks. To get started, every seed needs water, the right temperature, and the right amount of light. Once the seed has these 3 things, like when it's planted in some nice wet soil, the embryo, or baby plant, gets the signal to start growing. For plants, this growing process is called germination. First, the seed coat lets some water through to the embryo, but the embryo needs more than just water if it's going to grow. Good thing, there's a whole bunch of plant food right there inside the seed. Until the plant can make its own food from sunlight, which it will need leaves to do, it relies on the endosperm for energy. It's like the little baby plant has its own backpack of snacks. So the embryo keeps growing and taking in more water until the seed coat cracks open and the embryo kicks out a kind of a foot. But not at all like my foot. The first part of the plant to come out of the seed is the root. The root always grows downward, no matter what way the seed is planted. A seed can actually tell which way is up and which way is down. So the root pushes down deeper and deeper into the soil, looking for more water and minerals to feed the baby plant. Once the plant is all grown up, those deep roots will have another job. They'll help keep the plant from falling over or blowing away in the wind. But soon after the first baby root finds its way into the dirt, another part of the seed pops out, this time in the opposite direction. A shoot, which has the stem of the plant and a few leaves, pushes its way up towards the sunlight. Once the shoot breaks through the soil to the open air above, we say that it's sprouted. Now the plant doesn't need the endosperm anymore because it can make its own food from sunlight. With enough water and sunlight and the right temperature, the young plant will continue to grow, getting bigger and growing more leaves until it's an adult plant and it can produce seeds of its own. Next time you're about to chow down on a handful of sunflower seeds, just think, it's like you've got a whole field of flowers right in your hand. Thanks to our friend Dimitri for asking this great question. And if any of you have a question for any of us here at the fort, let us know by leaving a comment or emailing us at kids@thescishow.com. See you next time, guys.
Wow. Thanks, guys. If you feel like you need to go back and rewatch that, then please do. please do go back and watch that. So that was all about how seeds. Okay, so we've named a variety of common seeds and bulbs. We've explained the purpose of a bulb and seed and the different ways that plants grow from them. So let's have a closer look. What do you notice? What are the similarities here between the bean and the onion? If we have a look, this is a really close-up look. You'll see the embryo or the radicle. That's where the plant is gonna sprout from. You can slightly see it there on the bean. Now, what other differences are there? A plant that grows from a seed is likely to be an annual plant. This means that you only get 1 or 2 years growth from it before it will be gone for good. So if you plant seeds in the garden, you'll probably only get them for 1 year. And then it'll die when its time is done. But plants from some bulbs, on the other hand, if supported under the correct conditions, can continue to grow and regrow year after year. And I used to see this in my nan and granddad's back garden. I would see that come springtime, new shoots from the bulb start growing again, where it's almost been recycled. Now, go back. What I'd like you to do is go back and have a look when we were looking at the different bulbs and seeds. See if you can do a drawing of a seed or a bulb, and then use these words here to label it and write some sentences. So here's a sentence starter here for you. Bulbs and seeds are similar because, and tell me why they're similar. Maybe plants grow from them. And seeds and bulbs are different because it could be that they look different or the way that plants sprout from them. Here, your challenge, what does it mean to say that a bulb will grow annually? So there we go, guys. We've gone through all of our success criteria. Here's just a little review of our knowledge here, a little test. This is going to be popped up on Purple Mash. These are all true or false. So I'm going to read you these questions. Then I'm going to leave you and you can go back and rewatch this video if you need to. So true or false? 1, seeds and bulbs have a store of food inside them. Is that true or false? 2, seeds are larger than bulbs. Seeds are larger than bulbs. Is that true or false? 3, bulbs and seeds need water and light to start to grow. Is that true or false? Bulbs and seeds. And 4, a plant that grows from a seed is likely to be an annual plant, which means that it will grow once or twice only. Is that true or false, guys? Right, thank you for coming along to today's science lesson. If you need to go back and rewatch this video at any point or stop at certain points, then please do. You're learning with me on Purple Mash, and I will see you soon. Thanks, guys, and goodbye.